Hi dancers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be working on a basic extensions and mobility routine so that you can get your extensions higher or better placed, stronger, and have more mobility in the lower extremities. So first I want to talk about the setup that you're going to need. I have a wall anchor both at a higher chest level, and I also have a wall anchor down at the lower level. Now you don't have to have my exact wall anchor set up, but if you go ahead and look in my description, I do have a link to something that is very similar that you can set up in your home or some other alternative options. These bands are excellent. I have been through lots of different bands through the years as a physical therapist assistant and also a personal trainer and dancer. So these bands I have are Bob and Brad bands, and I will tell you guys, the reason I like them so much is because of this ankle cuff right here. It's very nice and padded, it's secure, and it stays on my leg and allows me the freedom of movement to work on the movements I want to with extensions. So I do highly recommend these. They are in my description. If you'd like to grab them, you will get a discount from me. So you always want to start out with a lower resistance level whenever you're beginning a new training regimen. So you wouldn't probably start out with black, you'd go down to the yellow color if you're beginning this for the first time. So we're gonna take whatever band's color we're using and we're starting with. We're gonna put this Bob and Brad ankle cuff around here, and then we're gonna also take it through and then fix it just like this. If you have a little trouble with your balance or you're new to this type of exercise routine, then go ahead and grab a chair or a bar just to help you. So the first exercise we're gonna do is going to help us with our movement of our front extensions and stability of our hip flexors. It will also lengthen out the hip extensors as you're performing these motions. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're not gonna stand with a pelvic tilt like this in that anterior tilt. I want you guys to take a nice exhale, place your hand below the navel, and bring yourself into neutral spine. That's not flat back. So dancers, we really wanna hold that neutral spinal position. If you feel like you have trouble activating your core, then I want you to keep that hand right below the navel every time you do a repetition. For this first exercise, we're going to just do 8 reps on each side, and every time we lift our leg up to the front, we're gonna do a nice exhale. A few things technique-wise that you want to look for. 1, you're not compensating to take that leg up by leaning back, by bending the knee, or hiking the hip. 2, that this quadriceps stays engaged. So you're gonna engage first here, and then the core, and then you're gonna come back down. We're not trying to take it as high as a grand battement, we're just trying to facilitate the muscle contraction and stability. 3, that you aren't leaning into the bar, sinking in the hip, or doing anything weird with the standing leg. So once you've got all those things in mind, let's go ahead and start with our single leg lifts to the front. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, and down. We're going slow. 2, flex that foot. 3, right in front of your hip capsule. 4, make sure you're breathing. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good work. Let's go ahead and take that ankle cuff. Love how it's just so easy to remove and you just literally slap it right onto the other side. Boom, done. And if you'd like to, you can move around the bar and switch it to the other side, but because of the fact that I'm filming, I'm not gonna move it into the front. I'll just keep it here. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, equal weight bearing between all 5 toes on the standing leg. 2, 4, 5, don't point your toes. 6, don't turn out. 7, and 8. Great work. Okay, let's go ahead and move on now, and we're going to do an adduction exercise. So if you've ever done attitude front, and then you're extending into that front extension, we actually do use a great deal of our adductor muscles, our inner thighs. And we also use our sartorius, which crosses over and creates that attitude front movement. So what we're gonna do is a sartorius kick, and that's gonna help strengthen things in the inner side of our leg. So from this view, you're going to stand hips facing the bar, and you're gonna have this leg out to the side slightly. You're gonna activate in the inner thigh and pelvis, and you're gonna cross over and externally rotate at the same time, almost like you're driving this foot towards the opposite shoulder. Think of a kicking motion and slowly lowering it back down, almost like the quality of a grand battement. Quick up, slow down. Some things you don't want to do for this exercise: try to meet the shoulder and the foot, bend in the standing leg, work and drive the knee up using the hip flexors instead of the sartorius. It doesn't have to be high, we're just doing it slow and controlled to feel the activation through here. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Go ahead and turn yourself around. Switch the resistance. And we're gonna do the other side now. Ready for the repeat? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, height is not a goal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, excellent. Now we're gonna work the abductor muscles. So the abductor muscles run along the sides of our legs and are super important for pelvic stability as well as elastogone positions. So for this, we're gonna secure our resistance so that it's pulling us towards the wall, and we've got the ankle cuff on the outside working leg. Couple things for this exercise. For dancers, you are gonna want to turn out and dégage your leg and turn out so bad because that's what's drilled into our minds, but we're not turning out. This is because we are trying to work against overuse. We don't want to overuse the muscles that we're already working all the time. We want to develop endurance and stability in the other muscles to prevent those injuries from happening. So what I like to do is I like to step my standing leg forward. My working leg is going to be slightly behind. So if you're looking at me from the side, you're probably seeing this view, almost like a tandem stance, heel to toe, but it's not that narrow. I'm doing hip width with my hips, and I'm gonna take my leg out to the side. Now, because I'm a dancer and I'm so programmed to turn out, what I have to think about consciously when I do this exercise is lead with the outside pinky edge of your heel. So the pinky toe of your heel, the pinky toe area of your heel is what is lifting up. So it's almost like I'm turning in. You're gonna feel this a lot through the hips on both sides, that's normal. But what you don't wanna do is tip to the side to lift up, sit in your hip and decrease the angle, or arch in the back and simply lift or turn out. So let's go ahead and do 8 of these. Abduction, nice and tall. Again, not focused on the height. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 1 and in. Nice and slow and in. 3 and in. 4 and in. 5 and in. 6 and in. 7 and in. And 8 and in. Good. All right, let's switch to the other side. We're gonna flip this around and we're gonna switch the ankle cuff again. I absolutely love using these versus a long open band because you don't have to keep messing around with tying them. It's so much easier just to slip through and do that. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, and in. 2, and in. 3, and in. 4, and in. 5, and in. Don't twist the hips. 6, 7. Last one, we have 8. Good. Okay, you guessed it. Next is Arabesque. We're gonna work those muscles that are important for Arabesque. Again, because we're dancers and we always are thinking, turn out more, we don't want to turn out for this exercise. So you're gonna have to consciously tell yourself each time, don't turn out. Don't point your toes. Don't do what's integrated into your brain. So we're gonna take our leg and we're gonna keep our back up nice and tall. That does not mean that we are hyper-extending with each repetition. If you feel yourself doing this, lean forward on the bar. Yes, it's okay, dancers. And we're gonna just focus in on the glute. The glute's what has to activate first for the Arabesque because it's protecting your spine from taking all of that stress. So we wanna make sure the glute is what's taking over, not the spine. So when we do Arabesque, or when we do this exercise, we're thinking, first I like to start at the ball of my foot, and I'll bring it in just a little bit. Hips are nice and tall, no crease in the front of this hip, it's straight. And you're going to straighten the knee and squeeze the glute back here. Okay, so, okay, glute squeezing. Now, we shift forward onto this foot. Moving forward in space, you're not lifting back, and you're gonna take it just a little tiny bit off the ground and come back down. And you'll feel it through the glute and hamstrings. If you're feeling it in your low back, you're probably doing this, or you are lifting your leg too high. We do not want to actually get into that range where we're doing an Arabesque. We are just simply trying to strengthen the glute and hamstrings here. Okay? So pick your choice of modification. You can either do it here or you can do it here with the quad set and lift. That is going to be harder. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. And squeeze, lift, down. Squeeze, lift, down. And squeeze, lift, down. And squeeze, lift, down. Focus on here. Squeeze, lift, down. If you've got to touch the muscle, that's fine. Squeeze, lift, down. Don't tip. Squeeze, lift, down. One more. Squeeze, lift, and down. All right, go ahead and switch to the other side. Really nice and quick here. It's our last exercise, and then we will do some mobility work here to open up the hips a little bit more. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Squeeze, lift, down. And squeeze, lift, down. Make sure you're not dumping the pelvis forward. Squeeze, lift, down. 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 And last one, and down. Good job. All right, go ahead and unstrap yourself from the wall. And today's routine with some quick myofascial mobility. We're gonna take a port of breath forward, and we'll walk our hands out. Walk those feet back. And then I want you to drop the heels and extend the hips to the ceiling. And then drive this knee out and push through, straight back leg. Toes are tucked under, and then come back up. Driving those hips to the ceiling and lift leg through, straight back leg. And exhale, coming back up. And again on the other side, up and through, exhale. And come back up. One more time, other side. and come back up. Very nice. Now we're gonna take this leg and cross it over and drop the hip down. And exhale to come back up. And cross it over. Drop the hip down. Exhale and come back up. And then go ahead and move into a frog, but with a pelvic tilt to neutral. Walk your hands forward. We're gonna push the pelvis forward and sit back. And pelvis goes forward, neutral pelvis here. Abs are engaged, we're not just letting go. And we're breathing through our mobility work. We're not arching our back. Neutral spine. Good. And come on down from there. We're gonna just go ahead and turn and rotate and lift. This isn't myofascial mobility, but it feels really good. Keep your spine up nice and tall. And turn. And turn. And turn. And lay it back down. Opposite arm to that outer edge of the pinky. Lift up and rotate. Keep the spine nice and long. Or lower the leg if you can't. Keep it long. And turn. And turn. And turn. And come back down. Wiggle out those legs. And do any additional stretches that you feel are necessary. Thank you for joining me on this beginner routine for extensions. And if you liked this routine and you want the full extensions course, make sure you check out the link below for the extensions course and my discount for watching this video today. Teachers, don't forget, we do have an instructor certification platform with cohort 1 starting in July. Enrollment opens in June. So thanks again for watching my videos. Subscribe to my channel, like, and share with a friend. Bye.